Good evening, everyone, and welcome to UFO Man Live. Tonight we were advertising a different guest, but that guest, due to unforeseen circumstances, did not show. So we are altering the live stream to something that we need to talk about. First off, we're going to be talking about Disclosure Day, the movie. One of our panelists by the name of Polly Rotterman has already seen it, and she's going to do a review for everyone and let you know what the movie's about partially and let you know what her feelings are about it. But before we do that, we are dedicating this live stream to a friend of mine because my two panelists, Sarah, my flock Sarah, and Polly weren't here when I interviewed him. But Dan Willis, an esteemed ufologist, passed away recently, and we want to dedicate this live stream to him and his family. So for the next minute, we would like to take some time, a period of silence in his recognition. Okay, thank you very much for taking that period of silence. Dan Willis was one of the original presenters at the 2001 congressional meeting that was held by Stephen Greer. He testified about alien technology and how it was being reverse engineered and used by the US government. He also talked about crystal technology and how it's being used to create different frequencies to help humans grow in their consciousness awareness. So please send your sympathies and empathy to Dan Willis and their family. Thank you. So tonight we're going to start with Disclosure Day, the movie review by Polly Rotterman. But before we do that, we're going to play the trailer teaser from the film. Here we go.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Today is today's.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
People keep wondering. Encountering the unknown.
They're coming! They're coming!
They are starved for the truth.
Do you think there could be others?
Why would he make such a vast universe? Yet save it only for us?
Okay, let me get Polly where she needs to be on screen. And we'll make her large so she can talk to us about her experiences with the movie Disclosure Day. Take it away, Polly.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Well, I have to say that even watching that clip, um, it's very profound. I went a few days ago to see the movie with my boy. My boy is only 11 years old, but he is fully aware of the phenomenon. I was maybe a little concerned because even though the movie is like for everyone, I didn't know how tough it could be for a child. But I decided that I was going to take the risk and try to talk with my boy afterwards. So we didn't know what to expect because we've seen, right, so many movies about aliens and Spielberg's movies. And so you're always expecting like all the effects and the science fiction, and, which is great. But as experiencers and researchers, I was kind of looking more for those little details, especially because we know in the past, Spielberg has used real and very specific sources for his movies, giving us real details about the phenomenon and what is going on. So I was trying to catch what, like those little things that maybe he was trying to give us. But I have to say that during the movie, especially with the journalist character, the woman with the red dress, I felt completely connected with her character. And I think it's because me, myself, as you know, I went through my own experiences. My first experience happened when I was 7 years old with a download. And since that download happened, my life changed completely, not only because of the understanding of, we are not alone, but me as a human being changed. I could see things differently, feel people differently. And even what I was seeing during the movie, her connection with animals, the way she could feel and say to people things that people that she don't know, but she's talking about their lives like she knows everything. So her extra sensorial feelings and abilities after she had her first contact. So what I'm trying to say here is that, in my opinion, this movie, more than the alien final day of disclosure and how is it going to happen, in my opinion, this movie is totally about us, the experiencers. I think each one of us that has gone through some kind of ET experience, it doesn't matter the kind of experience, but the voice that Spielberg gave here to her as an experiencer, with all the extra sensorial things that happen around it, the understanding suddenly of the phenomenon was huge. I have to say that I couldn't stop crying the whole movie. because I was profoundly touched by the feelings of this woman. What everything she was feeling, I was feeling it on the same way, because it's the same way I feel like all my life since I had my first experience. And so what I want to say is that go to the movie if you haven't watched it. Be open minded for feeling the whole flashback as an experiencer. I think Spielberg gave to the experiencers a huge voice in this movie. And on the process, we can see touches of who's controlling the narrative. So you can see the church and the government and, everything together. I think we can see in the movie actually the actual proof that the whole world need in order to see by themselves that we are not alone and this really happened, and there have been crashes and technological, we have everything, but we need that proof that we saw in the movie. And the truth is that I'm not sure that we will get it. But
So
more
the movie,
and the effect, the science fiction and everything, I believe and feel that Spielberg totally concentrated in the experiencer's experience. I have to say that during the movie, there were also people laughing meanwhile, about her extrasensual sensual things. And it also made me understand how much there are people that have no consciousness about the phenomenon, and actually it made me see very clearly how in the future, when this will be really a massive revelation, those that didn't get the message and still are in denial, well, the shock will be huge. But the ones that go to the movie and feel what I'm trying to say, the connections as experiencers, the key word is empathy. That's the whole message of the movie. And that was my message too all my life through my contact. Empathy, know how to learn, and we need to go back to love each other, respect each other. Our differences are our beauty of how and who we are as human beings. So instead of so much hate and killing, we need to go back to our emotions, our feelings as human beings, so we can respect each other, evolve, and even accept them. Because if we are killing us between us so much, what will happen if they land, let's say? You know? So a lot to think about, and I hope people will understand and move the needle in that part of go back and being empath as human beings.
Polly, I got to read this from the chat. Big Chief Thunderlong said, I was surprised how many gave it a bad review that people look up to. And my response to that is experiencer encounters have not been covered by the government at any point in the disclosure movement currently. The only thing that has done that recently is the film. People who don't understand what's going on with experiencers may be in true denial of the actual events that occur in the film. So they would take it as a falsehood and react that way. But the problem is they need to open up their minds to the possibility that all of us experiencers are actually experiencing something that's real, and it makes a large impact on our lives. All three of us here on the panel are experiencers.
Yeah.
And what I need to say is the movie, according to Polly, does represent the truth behind experiencing an experience or an abduction with an alien race, and how individual people react and how they are affected. So keep an open mind and listen to what Polly has to say, because it's important that we all come together and not be divided over this subject.
And I think there is this, as well as with the character in the movie, I think we all get this call. And there are people that take it further and start researching and trying to understand, even if it was through a dream or, whatever experience you had. Either you take that further or you stay with the denial. And that makes a huge difference. So my suggestion is to, if you went through some kind of experience that is related to the ET phenomenon, research, ask, go and find people that are related to it, because this does just not happen because this has a reason. We are all connected. And so it's important. That empathy is super important. And I think that's the key word for that movie, more than the disclosure itself and the science fiction effects and whatever. I could not stop crying during the movie. I was profoundly touched by her character because I really felt everything she was feeling and seeing. With the animals and nature, it's exactly the same with me. I can feel flowers. It's like I can feel the trees talking, I feel everything very deep. So listen to those calls, don't ignore them. And we are here for you in order to share, compare, and support each other.
And if you are an experiencer or suspect that you are, please get a hold of us at ufoman59@gmail.com, and we'll talk to you and possibly bring you up on the channel if you're willing to share your testimony. Because the more people we get to talk about it, the more validity that we have to share with the world. And that's what this film is doing. And I was always told when I was younger, when I was reading a lot of UFO literature, that you need to read between the lines.
Yes.
Because a lot of fact is hidden within fiction. And in this movie, according to the trailers that I've seen and the information I've learned from Polly, there is a lot of fact within this fictional film. Now, Steven Spielberg has come out and said in a couple of interviews that he truly believes that there cannot be an absence of alien life around us. He believes aliens are real. Just currently on the DC Capitol steps, when they had the UAP meeting or speech, David Grush definitely mentioned some alien species that were 100% real that the US government was aware of. And if the US government is aware of them, then so are other major governments.
Right.
So they've been around for a long time, maybe longer than recorded history. But the experiencer phenomenon has not been covered because a lot of people find it far-fetched when it is not. Yes, Snoopy, Sin 157 species were documented as of 1989. But from what I understand now, there are over 900 species that have been cataloged by the US government alone. So keep your mind open to the aspect of alien abduction, experimentation, hybrid breeding programs, and the like, because a lot of things like that are going on. And they say that 4 out of 5 people within the United States have had at least one abduction, if not more, because it's a generational encounter, meaning it goes through your whole family, maybe not all the family members, but most of them, through several generations. So in my case, I've had several family members have close-up UFO sightings within 50 feet away, myself included. And I haven't heard of any of them having abduction experiences except for myself. But I do know it happens. Polly has it in her family. Sarah's had some alien abduction experiences, haven't you, Sarah?
Yes.
And she actually saw an alien gray within the last few months. So,
yes, I did.
And it was told to her by one of the people that we actually interviewed that when she saw the being, it was receding back into the shadows of her room. And she was told that it was leaving because it had already done what it needed to do. So keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, and listen to Polly. Go ahead, Polly.
There is actually something else I wanted to say, and I think it's also important, and it's the fact that we don't see during the movie people running for their lives, like an alien invasion. I think that was important too. Actually, I can say that the worldwide reaction about the whatever proof was given there, because I don't want to be spoiling here nothing, but I'm trying. But the worldwide reaction about what they were seeing was not a chaos reaction. And I think that's important too. Because we hear all the time, one of the excuses is that we cannot handle it. Like the truth is too hard to swallow, right? But we see politicians like Burchett and Burlinson, and well, they say that they have seen the actual things. And I don't see them going crazy. So if they could take it, we can take it. And actually, I think people today are more open-minded to it. Like, we still need more consciousness, but still there is more consciousness than we had like 20, 40 years ago. So we are ready. And unfortunately, there will be those that won't be ready and they will need to deal with it. But I think most of us are ready for the truth, whatever it is, and we are ready to deal with it. So
Right.
I guess the worldwide reaction during the movie was very important for me too.
Didn't you say that some of the people within the theater were laughing?
Yes, yes, I mentioned it before. They will actually more laughing about her and the way she was kind of feeling and seeing things around her. And that hurt me. That hurt me very much. I even got angry about it because I felt personally hurt. Like they were laughing about me and the way I perceive things. And we need to understand that there are people that literally don't understand what we are feeling as experiencers. And it's okay. They don't have to. But still, we still need some respect. So it's difficult. We need to deal with the stigma still. But you know what? We know what we saw, we know what we feel. So, and I don't need to give explanations to no one.
Right.
So actually, the ones that laugh today will be the ones that really will need to deal with the reality of this phenomenon in the future. We are going to be okay. Whatever happens, we are going to be fine as long as we keep the support and the empathy for each other. Otherwise, we are all going to hell. Simple as that.
Right. I want to thank you, Polly, for your conscientious explanation and testimony about your film experience. How many thumbs out of 5 would you give it? How many thumbs up would you give the film?
Oh, as an experiencer,
Yes,
10 of 10.
10 of 10. So
Yes,
everybody out there,
I don't think there is another movie where I felt the experiencer's voice was so clear. So as an experiencer, 10 out of 10. All around, like over than that, the science fiction and well, it's kind of more or less the same. But as an experiencer, that was a beautiful way to show what we are going through from Spielberg's. Yeah.
right? I noticed in the film trailer that screen images or screen memories were actually accented by the deer and the bear
Exactly.
and the cardinal.
And it happens all the time. That made me think about my own experience too. When I was shown a tent, and it was not a tent, it was a craft. So they also show the way they can contact us also through the screening images, for example, to make our experience less aggressive somehow. So
Right.
yes, all the elements are there. When you are aware of it and how it works, all the elements are there, including the screen image. Yes. I loved it, really, not as a science fiction movie, but as an experiencers movie, 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Lisa Savoy, one of our friends, says she will be on Earth Files talking about her experiences with Linda Moulton Howe and Ian Haling. I don't have the date yet, but
That's
please
amazing.
please look forward to that because that'll be a big interview for Lisa, and we support everything that she's doing. She has a book out, but she's waiting for a new cover to be completed. when it's completed, we are going to have her back on the channel and she could discuss it again with all of you.
Well,
Good luck.
Anyways, we're going to drop Polly down to regular size again. And what we're going to do to back up, hold on a second here, I'm blue. Why am I blue?
because streamer's being wonky.
There we go. Okay, what we're going to do is play a video that will back up the claims of what Polly was talking about Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina Luna and other Congressman Burleson in regards to declassification of UAP files and other information. So here we go. Got to bring it up here.
So, in the in the meantime, please.
Yes, they're just milling around right now, but they will come up to talk about it. This is the task force on the declassification of federal secrets, mainly the UAP secrets. And James Fox will speak first, I think.
It's in the back. Okay, I need to see what you have framed.
I gotta do one thing.
Okay, let me just check.
This was a very important press conference. I think Rush said here very important things, including that he has seen actually the real evidence. The question is, how much are we moving the needle here? What do you think, guys?
I think this meeting, especially when they talked to Grush, there was a lot of information that set new parameters in regards to disclosure. For some reason, I'm having difficulties with bringing out the volume of the video.
All right, guys.
I don't hear
And Leslie King is doing an amazing job too. The truth is that they are all doing an amazing job. We wouldn't be here without them.
I don't hear anything.
I hear just fine, so.
You hear the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for attending this historic event. My
Can
name
you
is
hear James Fox?
I've been investigating UFO
Yes.
cases, now referred to as UAP, across the globe for over 30 years. And I've directed 7 feature-length documentaries.
I'm going to
on the
let the
subject.
women on the
In
panel
recent years,
respond to what is
Congress
being
has held
said
multiple
because
public
on my
hearings on
end, I'm
UAP,
having
which is a
computer
dramatic shift towards
issues in
transparency.
regards to hearing
Thanks to many
the
members of
video
Congress,
replay, and I
the issue is now
apologize.
being taken very seriously. We, the people, are finally hearing accounts in a credible setting from firsthand U.S. military personnel about highly advanced unknown craft that fly rings around our frontline fighter jets.
James
President
Fox, for
Trump's
those that
unprecedented
don't
directive to
know,
release UAP
is
files.
the guy
We
that
are
has
seeing more and
been
more of these
investigating
type of
the
craft captured
Virginia
on various
incident
government
in
sensors, and I'm
Brazil.
told this is just the beginning.
And he's done an amazing
One of the
job.
aspects of the phenomenon that's spoken about with less frequency are close encounters
Snoopy
of the
Sin
third kind.
100, my volume
Reporting by
adjustment
witnesses
on
of
the
entities,
computer
non-human
toolbar
sentient
is
beings
almost
connected
all the
to
way
crowd.
up.
Don't
And
take it from
on the
me.
video
Some
itself,
of these
it's
reports come
100%.
directly out of the United States Air Force's own files.
So I don't know why I
In
can't
fact,
hear it.
The very scientists who coined the phrase "close encounters"
Because you
of the
haven't
third
plugged into
kind
your speakers and not your
investigated
headphones
cases
into your
in the United States
microphone.
Air Force from 1947 to 1969.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Dr. J. Allen Hynek. According to Hynek, it was cases like those that the United States Air Force desperately tried to
Tim
keep secret,
Burchett, the man behind
Because it's one
James
thing to
Fox
try
and
and
Red
confuse the
Tie
public
is
with weather balloons
a
and
huge
swamp gas, and
asset.
another
for
entirely different when
disclosure.
dealing with credible reports of non-human beings.
He's a
on the ground.
representative out of Tennessee.
I personally investigated
Thank you.
one such case for over 16 years. The case occurred in Varginha, Brazil in 1996 and involves dozens of first-hand reports of UAP and direct contact with living, intelligent, non-human beings who, according to multiple Brazilian witnesses, were flown out of Brazil to the United States in January of 1996. Recently, the former Brazilian Ministry of Defense, Aldo Rebelo, confirmed the incident occurred and stated, if the U.S. disclosed information on this case, then we in Brazil could do the same. Mr. President, I am respectfully requesting that you declassify
The lady in the white
and
coat,
release
Danny,
all files related
is
to this case and
Leslie
others like it.
Keene from the New York
We, the people,
Times.
have a right to know. Reality
I
should
don't
not
think
be
she would
classified.
have vodka in
Thank
the
you.
bottle just because she's super serious.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. And I just want to say, especially for the members sitting behind us, as you know, this Congress, we were given permission to stand up the task force on declassification of federal secrets. Many of our colleagues did not believe in this up until really the video started coming out. And had it not been for the efforts of Representative Burleson, Burchett, Moskowitz, and the countless of other members who have backed us in this fight, you probably wouldn't see some of these files and videos that are coming out today. But it doesn't just stop here. For some time,
Ladies,
we've been
feel free to
pushing for
comment
legislation,
while
whether it be
the
whistleblower protections
video
or the
is
UAP
playing.
Disclosure Act.
I'm going to have to dip out and come back. My StreamYard is
by various
crashed.
intelligence agencies
Okay.
and staff within
Sorry.
the House of Representatives, which is why we are grateful to the administration and their effort, as well as Stephen Miller's office, in pursuing the truth, something that we all should deserve transparency on. And so our next call to action will be that we are meeting with the White House. We are requesting that whistleblowers receive temporary immunity or permanent immunity, and if they are able to divulge whether it is locations of craft and or advanced technologies. As you know, this is something that we are all wanting to know the truth on. And again, without your cooperation, we wouldn't have been where we are at today. And so thank you. I'd like to now introduce Representative Eric Burleson.
Thank you all for being here today. I want to first begin by thanking everyone that's here, and I want to thank my colleagues behind me, this task force. We could not do this without the incredible leadership of Representative Luna and my colleagues on the team. We also wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the brave men and women who have come forward as whistleblowers, who have plowed that soil. We wouldn't be here without these individuals. And we also wouldn't be here celebrating the victories that we have were it not for President Trump. We finally have a leader that the American people can trust to challenge institutions that have grown far too comfortable operating without accountability. For decades, the American people have been treated like children, told that our government secrets that they don't get to know. Don't ask, don't expect answers, just trust the process. Well, the American people are done with that answer, and I'm done with that answer. Over the last 3 years, we have made more progress on this issue than at any point in modern history. We've held hearings. We've reviewed Russian and Brazilian records, including a formal FBI inquiry into the 96 Varginha incident, where witnesses alleged the Brazilian military captured non-human entities and craft and buried the truth. Today, Aldo Rebelo, who was the Ministry of Defense at the time, came forward and admitted that this event was true. We sent targeted inquiries into MIT Lincoln Laboratories, MITRE, and every government agency that's been connected to UAP. We've worked with lawmakers across 4 continents. We sought answers on cases like Matthew Sullivan, a would-be whistleblower whose tragic death deserves far more scrutiny than it has received. We've obtained video evidence, including the MQ-9 footage of a UAP incident off the coast of Yemen, delivered to my office through what can only be described as a Tom Clancy-style dead drop. Someone felt that they had, now think about this, someone felt they had to secretly hand information to an elected official, a member of Congress. Why would anyone fear bringing information to Congress? They shouldn't. We are no longer asking hypothetical questions anymore. Congress is requesting specific records and videos. These agencies and contractors know that we know that they exist, and we're going to get them released. We continue to receive credible claims of recovered craft and reverse engineering programs that may have operated for decades outside of any oversight. Those claims point to specific facilities, contractors, records, and people.
If you see the 2 people on the right in the back,
and that duty does not vanish
the
because
man
someone
with the
stamped the
shades
document classified 30 years
is
ago.
Rear Admiral
It does not vanish
Tim
because some
Galladay,
bureaucrat says so.
and the
It
one
does
on
not vanish
the
because
right
the program
is
has
Jeff
become so
Nuccitelli.
compartmentalized that even elected officials are expected to look the other way.
Right.
The Constitution
Well, I
gave
would like
Congress
to say
oversight,
something about
authority for a
what
reason.
Burlington is
No
saying
elected, no
because,
bureaucrat has that authority.
you know, we had the last batch of videos released by the US government. And now the thing is that I see all the time comments like, you know, it's not really approved, it's not enough, it's more of the same. Yes, it's right. We know, as you know, the ones that we are or have been investigating this phenomenon for years, those videos are not new for us. But I think we need to take in account that disclosure depends on each one's states of consciousness. And as we said before, not all of us have the same state of consciousness, meaning there are people that are aware of the phenomenon and there are people that are still laughing and in total denial. So if for us the videos are more of the same, maybe those videos for those that are still in denial will move the needle somehow. And that's what we are looking for. We are looking for to grow consciousness somehow in any way that we can by touching people's hearts and souls with whatever is going on in the narrative, so we can move the needle inside those peoples that are still in denial.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen anything in the sky. So it's like the phenomenon's not real.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then even when they do see it, they deny it with the no, it's anything but what I saw, right?
Well, and you know, that's a very nice example if we talk even about Steven Spielberg and even, you know, Steve Bassett, or these people are believers and supporters and they have never seen a UFO, you know?
Yeah.
So you don't really need to go through see or having a sighting, or but sometimes you can feel by researching and doing your own work that this is not bullshit, this is true. And when you research and you become a believer, then you are also moving the needle, even if you didn't have an experience. So each one of us is part of this movement, huge movement of disclosure, when we are where we are trying actually to move the needle inside people that are still in denial. So I guess those videos are still not too much for us, Maybe for others, it is a huge thing. People that have never seen those kind of lights or orbs or whatever, it could move the needle. And that is what we are looking for. So don't dismiss nothing. That's the goal. Moving the needle and getting to the actual ultimate proof of what we need.
I have to respond to Snoopy Sin 100. They said now that there are more weird shaped aircraft, many of us think it's just ordinary aircraft. I just believe that in a way, because when you see when you see extraordinary sightings where the shape of the aircraft changes shape several times, or is a different shape that we're familiar with, it could very well be a UAP rather than a conventional craft that we are aware of. I mean, I've actually filmed a craft that moved across the sky in about 1 minute and 15 seconds, and it changed shape 5 times.
Yeah, it did.
And I have it on film. It's on my channel, UFO Man Reloaded. If you want to see it, it's entitled The Best UFO Footage of 2023. Take a look at it, make a judgment call, and let us know what you think.
Maybe you can put one of the last released videos so people can watch it.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's finish this real quick.
This information is not yours to keep. It belongs to the American people. They own it and they deserve the truth. The most important people in this story are the whistleblowers. David Grush, Admiral Gallaudet, Dylan Borland, Jeff Nusatelli, and the many others who haven't been named yet. Their careers were upended. Their families were torn apart. They endured an avalanche of stress, all because they believed this information belongs to you, the American people, and they attempted to and tried to get it to you. Some will say they should have used more proper channels. To hell with the safe way. The safe way protects the system. These are people who simply wanted the American people to see what they know, and they deserve protection. They deserve our respect, and they deserve a second chance. And we are at a different time. This is the age of disclosure. Mr. President, I'm asking you directly.
Oh, that was weird. Why'd that happen?
Wow.
Oh, sorry, guys. Gotta go back to the video. I don't know why that happened. Okay.
The joys of live streaming. Well, he brings that back up.
Those are the reptilians. No, but it's very interesting, you know, when we hear we need to understand that seeing these politicians talking about this is huge, because we didn't have that years before, you know, and they are talking about the whistleblowers and reverse technology,
must be the default in the United States of America,
this
and it
is
should
more
be required
exciting
for those with knowledge to come forward,
than ever.
not wait for us to
I
act.
think we're going through
There must be
amazing
real
times.
penalties for officials who knowingly withhold information from Congress. Playing dumb is no longer acceptable. Hiding behind classification is no longer acceptable. Mr. President, you know that the agencies lie. You know that firsthand. They have lied to you. They have lied about you. They do not cooperate easily, and they never have. This is the moment.
I got to stop this here for a second. I want to answer Snoopy Sin 100. They said that was a UFO, all right, because they saw the UFO video on my channel. the one I filmed. And the one I filmed captured, my camera captured an infrared light beam that came from the craft in the sky that beamed down onto the top of 80-foot pine trees and lit up the tree branches, and then would turn off, move a little farther across the sky, turn on again, then shut off, move a little farther, turn on and shut off. And then it moved over the building that I was filming next to as a dart shape, like an arrowhead. And it had originally started out as a triangle.
Yeah, the one I filmed that flew by that fire, it looked like an arrowhead. It was going when it was going by. It went by fast.
Yeah, to me it looked like a disc, but we have it on the channel too. I think it's a short, so if you want to look at it, you can watch it there, or it may be a video on the main.
It's a video. It's a video.
And I had a huge sighting also like a few weeks ago. And it was really interesting because, I was all the time wondering if it wasn't a weather balloon. But this thing it was flashing all the time. Like even at the end of the video, I was saying to myself, like, I don't see them. Like maybe it's a weather balloon. And then they kept flashing like, no, it's us, what weather balloon? It's us. What are you talking about? It was beautiful. Just keep looking up. They are there. Just take your phone and send us your videos.
Use the authority that you have, Mr. President. The American people are behind you. And everyone listening today in government, working for a contractor, retired, anywhere in the world, come to Congress. Come to these group of people. We will work with you. This is a worldwide call for action. And what you know and help us please release every record, every file, and every piece of information. The time is now. Thank you. And with that, I'll yield to the general.
Be brief, be brilliant, be gone. Well, it's good to be with you all, and it's great to be with my colleagues and people that want transparency in America. And just like my good friend, Mr. Burleson, Representative Burleson said, this isn't the government's information. Unless there's some kind of national security element that's going to imperil our safety, this is our information. We should have it, every single bit of it, and you shouldn't be crazy, and you shouldn't have your reputation destroyed because you want to disclose. This is our government. This is our country. This is our information, and damn it, we demand it. God bless you.
There you go.
He was correct.
Thank y'all. My name's Congressman Tim Burchett, and I know y'all got up this morning and said, "Dadgum, I hope I get to stand out in the heat and listen to some redneck talk for too long." Well, I'll keep it short. I'm a redneck, proudly. But it's a pleasure being here with you. I want to first salute the bravery of these folks standing back here on the back row for their guts. This country was not created by a bunch of meek pansies. It was people that took a stand, and these fellows took a stand. And thank y'all so much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate my colleagues in Congress. I even have to say it. I have to appreciate my friends in the media today. So there you go. I crossed over the divide. I talked to the president about this issue, and he kept his word to me. He kept his word, and I think that's important. But I think we also need to remember, too, when I'm sitting in a skiff and some little punk in a man bun tells me the president's on a need-to-know basis, folks, that ought to tell you right there what we're up against. We're up against corruption. We're up against a cover-up. This thing's been covered up at least since 1947. Dadgummit, the public deserves the right to know. It's your dadgum tax dollars. It's not about little green men or flying saucers. It's about what are we spending all these millions and possibly billions of dollars on that these idiots tell us don't exist. And then yet we turn right around in the skip and then they tell us they do exist. This is a cover-up. You all know it. We know it. We demand the answers. And dadgummit, we're going to get them. Look, we got 1 or 2 bites at this apple. Please be careful about the false information that's coming out of Washington on all this stuff. Trust your gut. You know what's right. You know they exist. You know this has been a cover-up since before most of y'all been born. Thank y'all so much. Let's keep fighting for the truth. And thank you, Donald Trump, for keeping your word to me. And you all deserve to be in that skiff with us. We shouldn't be the gatekeepers, and none else of these jugheads up here should either. All right? Let's get at it. Thank y'all. And I don't care if he's across the aisle or not. He's one of the smartest guys I know in Congress, and he's one of my best friends. His name is Jared Moskowitz. Jared, come up here, brother.
That'll be used in my primary. Wonderful.
I hate his gut.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't have a plastic Jesus.
Please, the correction for the record. Anyways, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be here with my colleagues. And let me thank the men and women behind them, not just for their courage, but for their service to the country. And that's what's changed. I mean, look, this conversation started years ago with people like the late Harry Reid, and then Marco Rubio and Chuck Schumer, and now my colleagues and many others in the House. But one of the things that changed is the quality and the caliber of people who are coming forward, who have served our military, decorated people with the experience, airline pilots, and the technology in our hands, and the technology that our military has. That's what's changed. And what's also changed is we started asking questions, very simple questions. And
I'm stopping the video for a second because someone said that they should have to thank their sponsors before every speech. I tend to disagree because these people are not actors. They are actually real experiencers, real researchers who have done their best effort at getting the real truth out. I have interviewed several of them, and the facts are there. You just need to be open-minded to hear them.
this is what got me interested in the topic. We would ask questions, and they would then push back. And we would ask more questions, and the pushback became more significant. We would try to put language in an amendment, in a bill, and they would oppose it. They would secretly go to the chairman of committees to strip that language out. And that became clear to us that they were hiding something. And so, listen, I don't know what the full truth is, but I know we're being lied to. And the American people know that also. And so, look, the time for disclosure is now. Disclosure today, disclosure tomorrow. The American people have a right to know. We know about these advanced technology programs. We know they come out of Area 51. They did when we went to kill Osama bin Laden with an advanced technology helicopter that Congress never funded. There's trillions of dollars missing at the Pentagon. Where does that money go? And so it's time for the government to come forward. And what we need is we need your help. All of you here. I get asked this question by people in my community more than anything else. What does the government know, and why aren't they telling us? The American people can handle it. They can handle it. I trust them. And it's time that we tell them the truth. Thank you.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Leslie Kane. I'm one of the reporters who wrote the 2017 New York Times story that fundamentally changed the conversation about UAP.
That's
In the years
Leslie
that
Keane
followed,
from the
members
New
of
York
Congress met
Times.
with Navy pilots and received classified briefings. Some came to realize that the observed objects were highly unlikely to be American, Russian, or Chinese technology, but nobody would publicly confirm what they were. Then in 2023, the conversation changed again. Former intelligence official and whistleblower David Grush met with members of Congress, providing them with detailed information about covert government programs that he said possessed craft of non-human origin. This had been hidden from congressional oversight for decades. I was privileged to have interviewed Mr. Grush extensively before publishing his story with my colleague Ralph Blumenthal 3 years ago. 6 weeks after the story broke, Mr. Gruss testified under penalty of perjury in an open congressional hearing. While under oath, he spoke about an ultra-secret crash retrieval program and stated that some craft contained specimens or pilots, which he called non-human biologics. The potential existence of another living, intelligent, advanced species has more implications for humanity than the recovery of technological hardware. Now, the conversation needs to shift again, with more of a focus on biology and less on technology. Having served for decades on the staff of Congressional Intelligence and Defense Committees, Kirk McConnell, who is standing here today in the back, he was present in classified settings when highly credible sources briefed senators, including Marco Rubio, about recovered non-human bodies. Unlike legitimate national security concerns that require us to keep advanced technologies of non-human origin secret, that justification should not apply to biological evidence. Knowledge of the existence of another life form, studied and documented by qualified experts, should not be considered a threat to national security. By what authority can any institution withhold confirmation of what may be the most consequential scientific discovery in human history? Knowledge that we are not alone does not belong to any government or military. It belongs to all of humanity. Today, I call upon the President to prioritize the declassification and public release of any evidence concerning recovered, advanced, non-human biological entities. Thank you, and I turn this over now to David Grush.
I'll try to enunciate.
This is what you
Good
need
afternoon.
to hear.
I'm here today because my leadership on the disclosure issue is part of my continued service to the nation. I took an oath as an Air Force officer swearing allegiance to the principles and the framework of the U.S. Constitution. I took that oath seriously then, and I take that oath seriously now. And if this is one of my final duties of public service, I want it to be this: helping Congress and the President restore lawful accountability over activities and spending that should never been placed beyond constitutional oversights, and to be transparent with the American people. There are a myriad of issues across multiple cultural, religious, and institutional spectrums. The topics here that we're discussing today go beyond life in the universe. There are serious homeland security and airspace safety issues. There are relevant counterintelligence and technology protection issues that must be taken into consideration. For decades, unknown objects have freely operated in restricted airspace in large metropolitan areas and critical infrastructure, and the agencies responsible for securing the homeland cannot adequately defend against it. This is a serious national security issue. In my official duties, I was exposed to human and signals intelligence information concerning foreign adversary, UAP crash retrieval, exploitation and study efforts, adversary views on U.S. legacy program reverse engineering efforts, and U.S.-held audiovisual information related to crash retrieval matters, such as the recovered vehicles and the associated biological material. One must always be concerned about adversarial disinformation when you're getting foreign intelligence, but I was able to cross-verify this information internally to back up the foreign government assertions. Many of the president's team has been kept in the dark by high-ego, politically appointed actors, both because of incompetence and malicious intent has subverted the president's order on this issue. Furthermore, some of this foreign intelligence has not been provided to Congress despite lawful requests to the Defense Intelligence Agency last summer, and also having formally been published across the IC and analyzed by such analytical centers such as NASIC. These records belong under congressional oversight, and I believe DIA should stop obstructing Chairwoman Luna's task force and provide those documents to Congress and enter it through mandatory declassification review so the American public can see some of the foreign intelligence I had access to. Secrecy around this issue did not appear overnight. Subsequent executive orders, Secretary of Defense memorandums, departmented security, basically nullified Congress's role with the judicial branch with oversight of this issue. Remember, classification exists to protect the nation. Executive Order 13526 discusses what can and cannot be classified. Embarrassment, hiding funds, criminal activity, and the basic information about scientific information in the universe is unlawful for it to be classified. And this is why whistleblower protections matter. Through my federal litigation ongoing with the Department of War, I learned that the Air Force worked with an external agency to seek an investigation of me for alleged unauthorized disclosures punishable under the Espionage Act after I testified in front of Congress in 2023, discussing the results of my congressionally directed investigation in the support of the first Trump administration. This should concern every member of Congress, regardless of party. To this day, I'm still fighting years of record withholding, administrative obstruction, and a prolonged effort to get a medical military retirement that I still am not in a retired status. This is also a real fraud, waste, and abuse issue. President Vance's task force is sharply focused on the issue of misuse of funds. The same accountability problem applies here. And during my investigation, I found slush funds to the tune of billions of dollars per annum for these activities. We cannot have one standard for the American people and another standard for the deep state that hide behind the veil of secrecy. President Trump has the authority to create an enduring legacy of government transparency, accountability consistent with national security protections. Disclosure should not depend on leaks. It should not depend on the public taking my word for it or anyone else's. American people deserve more than vague denials and selective releases of prior administrations, to include through troubled organizations such as AIRA. I applaud the president's efforts and his promise to show true American leadership on this issue of massive worldwide interest, over 1 billion views on the File Drop website. So the time has come to stop asking the public to trust secret conclusions. Instead, provide an honest accounting of what it knows, what it's done, and what has been withheld. God bless America.
I think we have about 4 minutes before they call votes to open it up for a quick round of questions. So if you guys can just, let's start with Real America's Voice.
How many species? Recent reports that perhaps 4 different alien species, rays, Nordics, how many species are you aware of?
I certainly don't have the compendium. It's a continuum from corporeal bipedal type life to, what I would consider like sentient plasmoid life, but there are several that the U.S. government is aware of.
A question for you, Mr. Grant.
Okay.
During the course of your investigation, it's been surfaced to the public that there's been a program by the name of Immaculate Constellation. During the course of your investigation, did you recognize that the infrastructure to support such a program for exfiltration of data from federal systems would exist?
Yeah, I can't comment on the content of that program. I've discussed on my interview in Judicial Watch that was a National Security Council program, and the secrecy started in 1954 through an Eisenhower executive order that created that infrastructure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. Gretsch, Kristen Fisher with the Endless Void. When you look at where we are right now in this moment for the disclosure movement, what's at stake here?
I think the sovereign contract between the citizenry and its government. I think the institutional rots that the lack of transparency in this issue is possibly going to cause an untenable socioeconomic condition if the government is not transparent, akin to certain other. I don't want to say the Epstein files. That's a dirty word, but we could have that kind of scandal if we're not transparent on this issue.
And do you have any advice for people who are new to the UFO topic, the UAP topic, who just really don't know where to begin? There's just so much misinformation out there. What is your advice to them?
I would go watch James Fox's documentaries. I like the Disclosure's a great movie. And I also, there is a declassified 1971 Australian, formerly classified secret assessment that a couple years ago was put in the Australian National Archives. I encourage people to read page 7 through 16. And that was the nuclear branch chief of the Australian government discussing the U.S. cover-up and the involvement of the CIA back in the 70s. And that's actually a little-known document that is publicly available.
Oh, wow.
Question with the whistleblower, Matthew Sullivan. Is there anything you know or Is there anything that ties into what is happening here today and with his testimony that never happened because he died 2 weeks, I guess, before?
That's an ongoing.
It's an ongoing federal investigation.
Yeah, they're leading up, but a lot of the stuff that started happening and picking up speed, it's just weird that it somewhat correlates to the disclosure effort.
What was he coming in to testify for?
That would be a question for Rep. Burleson.
It's a draft. Oh, yeah, Mr. Sullivan was on the Legacy program. I served on active duty with him in the Air Force, but I don't want to discuss details of his knowledge until the federal investigation is complete. Okay. Yeah, Joe?
So, just for those that are maybe not so familiar, can you explain right now what the roadblocks are? What is preventing lawmakers, and if lawmakers want to accept this, from visiting locations that have been critical to reverse engineering or other things, that the knowledge is there, but the ability to go and see them is not?
I'll take a stop at that. If Congress says we're going to go to Area 51, if Congress says we're going to go to Area 51, everybody says, go to Area 51, Merchant. All I'm going to get there is a good dadgum T-shirt, all right? It's already going to be there. The problem you have is that these things have been moved into private entities, so that they don't have a FOIA. I could FOIA Ford Motor Company, but doesn't mean they're going to do anything. That's why they moved it out of the federal government, and that's part of the roadblocks. Other roadblocks we've seen, we tried to get a committee. We've had staff members try to block us when we first started this thing with that first hearing that Grush said that there's biological entities. They tried to move it into remember that Russian balloon that flew over? They tried to move it into that. And what was it? Chinese, excuse me, they're all together. I don't care. But they tried to move it into that. We had staff members try to block us. Just the top level. We've been in a skiff before, and we had a member of Congress come in and just try to disrupt the meeting, try to disrupt Grush, throw him all these trick questions, and he answered every dadgum one of them just right off the bat. He knocked it out of the park. So.
If there's before we have to go, because this is the last question, we do have a meeting set up with the White House. The White House is going to play ball on this. So as Rep. Burleson and Burchett has stated, they are following through on everything that we're sending them. So the next course of action and something that they're willing to entertain is if you are an intelligence official or have knowledge of locations of materials, and in doing our due diligence and following up the task force, they are considering, and I do believe that they are going to be providing immunity permanently, so that people can't be hit with a violation of the Espionage Act. So again, there's a lot of people that have a lot of information, but it's really, can we prove it? And what information can we then bring forward to the American people? So we are still relying on you guys.
Wait a minute, let the guy he's had his hand up the whole time, man. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. I have a question. Scott Murphy from Mysterious Planet. I have a question. Do you have a sense of how many cases the government might be aware of that involve non-human biologics?
Quite a few, several dozen. So that's an ongoing list. So I can't give you an exact number because I don't even have full access to that information.
Do you have a general rough estimate? Between
several dozen.
All right, thank you, sir.
Bottom line, we got to go vote. Bottom line, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the bravery of these individuals who came forward, Mr. Grush, and all of the whistleblowers. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the political courage of my colleagues who took this issue from being a fringe issue to being something that everyone is talking about is no longer a fringe issue. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for this president who has taken a decades-long request and finally brought us into the age of disclosure. And so, and I want to say thank you to the press as well, to James.
Well, as you can see, they all talk about transparency, and transparency is a key word because, sometimes I ask myself, if they all talk all the time about, people won't take it and it's too hard to swallow. But if they were transparent from the beginning, people would know what they are talking about, would know how to handle it, would know that that's the reality, and they will start dealing like with everything. When you know, you deal. but the lies has been for so long, and the transparency is barely there, if at all. So how do they want people to deal with these if you are lying from the beginning? You know, so it's kind of ridiculous because
Yeah,
we are
over,
so
over,
real. It's a
over
will
80,
that don't change. They don't give the truth, no transparency, and they pretend from us to deal with something that that you are not like. It's ridiculous. The way they are dealing with this is ridiculous. We need transparency for people to deal. But they are causing the lack of deal with their own lies, which is a
Right.
problem.
for over 80 some years too. And
Yeah,
it could have also been longer than that.
of course.
Because they only go back to 47, but they should have gone back to recorded history, which was back in the late 1800s when newspapers started printing stories
Right.
and
Well,
sketches of things.
Beatriz Villarroel is talking about it. The proof has been there forever.
Yeah.
So, it's like these people need to understand that this has become so huge. They cannot stop this anymore. Not the bureaucracy, no the lies, not the concealing. Like, we are already aware of these. So we don't buy those lies anymore. So be transparent already so people can finally deal. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
I gotta answer Esmeralda real quick. She said, "Guess it is hard to admit they've been lying for so many years." Well, the problem, Esmeralda, is it's not just that they've been lying. If they come out and admit to the truth of alien existence and that they've known about it for decades, they're going to be castigated publicly. And that's what they fear. And they don't only fear that, they fear loss of control of any technology they have recovered or reverse engineered from crashed disks, objects, or from landed objects that were totally intact. So it's very difficult for the US government to release information to temp workers, which are the 4-year employees of our government, because they don't want to give them classified information access because they're not around long enough to preserve the truth and to classify the national security threats that they figure sometimes some of this information details. They see some of the information in SCIFs that are completely isolated from the public, but they can't take the information out. And they're only allowed to speak about certain things, and the information they see most likely is governed by a non-disclosure agreement. So the problem is right now is the evaluation of declassification of these objects and of alien life. And recently I saw an article posted by the Debrief on YouTube, or on Facebook actually, talking about a new evaluation declassification office or task force that has been set up by the government to aid them in the disclosure of what they're going to present to the public. A lot of
And Avi Love is there too. And I was asking myself, like, actually what I was I trust what Avi Love is doing. But my
Oh, yeah.
problem is that when they go and start working with the government, I think they lose somehow kind of the credibility because
Yes.
it's the government and because it's actually the government, the one that has been lying to us.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I still don't know how to take the fact that Avilav joined that group because it's government involved. And
Which
so
one
I
are we
don't
talking
know.
about? Galileo?
Yes. And
Yes,
he's
I
not the only one. There are very important people that were called to that group. My problem is that is a government thing. And
Yeah.
so I don't
Actually,
know if we are going to get again the information as we should. And I have a problem with people that were till now very neutral and kind of well, they were not related to the government. That's
right,
why we were following, right? But the
right.
moment they get connected to the government, I have a problem with that. Now,
I have
the
to,
only thing, I'm sorry, the other thing that I wanted to say related to what you were saying, Tim, is that
Mhm.
even if I take a little bit further what you just said about the government, we cannot lose or erase the connection between government and church. And so the
Right.
Vatican has here a huge power also related
Yes.
to the disclosure thing. And we can see it also in the Spielberg movie. Somehow he touched that side of the religion. And so sometimes I ask myself, is kind of disclosure depending only in the government information, or is the Vatican also making even a harder task to get to the disclosure thing?
Well,
Because
I think they are, but I have to add this to your comment. The Vatican came out about 10 years ago and stated that they had a telescope on space and that they were watching a large craft moving toward Earth. And I researched it, and it was actual information from the Vatican, and that they admitted to the fact that aliens exist and that they've known about it for decades. But they actually are the ones that removed the book of Enoch from the King James Version of the
right,
Bible.
which
And
Lorna just recommended to read, by the way.
yeah, Book of Enoch actually talks about aliens visiting Earth and what they've done here and what their agenda is. So
Right.
I agree with you, Polly.
Yeah, I think those two things are not only related, very connected in keeping us away from the real truth about what is happening. And we need to understand that it's not only the government that has been lying for more than 70 years. The Vatican, and that's why also the priests were updated lately that this is going on and how to handle this in front of the communities. So they know about this, they are preparing on how to handle this with their fellow followers, and still the question would be, who has more power hiding this? Is it the Vatican or is it the government?
I think
Because
it's
the
both.
Vatican has a lot to lose. They've been telling us for years and years about this one God, and suddenly it turns out it's not that one God, but we come from aliens, and so it's huge. The
Right.
Vatican
I agree.
government problem, it's huge.
I agree. Sarah, do you have any last comments?
No, I think we covered everything pretty much. I'm sorry, have technical difficulties on my end a lot suddenly. So.
Oh, so did I, and I apologize to everybody for the mistake I made in the middle of the video with the people on the DC steps. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah,
my computer's overheating, so.
We are human beings. Everything is fine, people.
So, Polly, any last comments?
No, I just want to, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment after the show. It was a pleasure to talk about this because I think we really touched not only what was related to the movie, but also what is going on right now with the narrative and who's holding all these, who's keeping us from going further. So thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you the next time.
Yeah, next week we are featuring Stephen Bassett on the show, and we're going to be talking about did President Trump release the UFO files initially for the truth, or was it a ruse, a diversion? We're going to talk about that in depth, and we'd like you there. Okay, so I want to thank everybody on the panel, Polly and my flock Sarah, for being here. My flock Sarah doesn't feel too good tonight, so we're going to cut the show off now. Hope she feels better.
Yes, thank you.
And Polly, I hope you have a wonderful week. And everybody that participated online, thank you. And everybody who participated in the chat, thank you for your questions as well and your participation. And as always, have a good night.
Pinnacle of Earth, do not fear us. We are only here to help you ascend to a higher frequency. When you do, you will become one with our intergalactic community.
Looking for proof that we're not alone? Welcome to UFO Man Reloaded, your one stop for all your UFO needs. Hit subscribe and join the mission.